In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create sort of irregular lattice surface with using cross section and some simple splines, and then I'm going to show a little bit more regular lattice by using some deformed planes. So let's start by going to a front view and selecting a line. You're normally going to find it under the first tab, which is create, and then shapes, line. Make sure it selects smooth and Bezier, and then let's just draw our arch. Go to its modifiers tab and let's change a few things here. Next thing we want to do is go to a plan view, hold down the shift key and then just drag it out, and let's do a couple of copies of the same thing. Now we can start sort of moving them around, rotating them. You can even go in start changing those a little bit. So let's imagine this is the form that we wanted. Next thing we need to do is select the first one, and the order in which we select them is very important. So let's select the first one, go to its modifiers tab and click on attach, and then select them in order 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what we want to do is use the cross section modifier on that to sort of hook them all up together, and then we can use a surface modifier to create the surface. You can add some steps to it to give it a little smoother appearance. Now you want to hit edit mesh. Actually, just from a drop down menu, do edit mesh, and then I usually do edit poly on top of that, and go to the edge modifier. Now if you want to add some more sort of irregular lattice to it, I found it easier to do it with the slice plane. So when you hit the splice plane, this sort of yellow plane appears, and you can just rotate it, and every time you hit slice, it adds sort of these edges or cuts it up. So let's do that a few times. So as you can see, you can create basically any grid on top of that. Now to actually make it look more like a lattice, there's actually a lattice modifier that you can apply to it, and it has those weird sort of shapes. Those are joints. So you want to click struts only, and they'll get rid of those sort of nods and those weird pieces in there. So when you do that, it gives you the lattice, and that's pretty much an easy and fast way that lets you build up this form. You can always go back to the original sort of line and play around with those. You can play around with the shapes with the of the original sort of splines, and they will automatically adjust. They're just too irregular. They automatically adjust when you go back all the way up to the lattice, so you can see the shape adjust. So you can always go back and sort of refix it, add some more stuff, move some stuff around. The other way that I wanted to show you is it's a little quicker, but you have a little less control over what's happening to your to the surface that you're creating. So you want to hit the plane and sort of drop a plane. I put a 24 by 24 segments on it, so it's a little bit more refined. So what I do is I change it to edit poly, and I select one of the vertices, and then check soft selection, and then increase this quite a bit, and then you can just drag this thing out, sort of create this surface. Decrease that a little bit. Get this kind of more irregular shape. So increase that again. So you can play around with the vertices and sort of create this this shape. What I usually do next is actually create another plane that's a little bit bigger than that, and I'll go in and drag it up a little bit. Yeah, something like this. I need to convert this to edit poly, but then having that secondary plane selected, you want to change from standard to compound objects and use the Pro Cutter. Then pick stock objects and select the second shape that we had, and then well, if I add it to clean this thing away. For some reason it's staying there. But yeah, you can basically just chop the bottom part of it off, and you're left with this sort of lattice. You can see the grid on it. If you click F4, it's gonna disappear. So I have always F4 checked on so you can see the grid on it, and then like before, you can always go to the edge and sort of use the same splice plane. Right now it's flat, so you want to make sure you have the angle snap checked on, and just drag it up 90 degrees. So if you go to top view, you can use it to sort of put those more irregular slices on it. And then just use the Lattice Modifier like before. Check struts only. There it is. This one is a little bit more sort of regular, because it all started with more regular sort of rectangular grid that we had on it.